Okay, so Toyota Hilux sr5 brake job, pretty easy. You've got two 17mm bolts which come through the back of the plate here, and they actually go back on over this fella here, above and below. Don't confuse them with the bolts there. And basically undo the bracket. There's two bolts up the top here for this bracket, so that your flexible line can actually still be flexible, but your permanent line down here doesn't bend. So I always put 3 straps in there just in case, you know, these things do break. And okay, so next is to basically pull the plates, the pads, sorry, out of the plate at the top there, pins, etc. Out they come. There's little clips just over this little fella here, and they'll come out. Those, once that clips out, these 2 pins will just knock out. That plate comes out, bang, these pads come out. Then we'll show you in a second. You just need to get a clamp, pull the pistons back in, put the new pads in. Okay, won't be a tick. Okay, so once you've got the clip off, so this little fella here, and somewhere in my mess here, the other little clip. There's a little spring clip, there it is. This fella here. Now that sort of sits in that way, wrong way, that way, like so. So basically it springs in and then in the middle, so that's really easy just to knock out with a screwdriver. And then these may be a bit tight here. This one's actually quite loose, but of course there's always one, isn't there? Sometimes you'll have to get a punch and punch them through, and you might have to get a punch, don't know yet. Might get lucky. Nah, I'm gonna have to get a punch. All right, we'll just punch those through and we'll come back to you in a tick. Which leaves you with these little fellas sitting here. And don't forget your plates, don't lose those back plates, you'll need those. And basically they'll be the same with your other one here. It comes out. Try and put them out the way that you got them out so you can have a look at them. These, I'm probably replacing these a tad earlier than what we should be, but I have this thing about having to machine discs all the time. So when they get down about 10-15%, I just knock them out. What you do here is you're getting a clamp and pushing this piston back in, and you'll need to, because the new pad has got obviously that level of thickness on it. So, you know, there's a fair bit of room that you need to get those on and to get around that disc. Okay, I'll just get a clamp, sort of doing things one-handed here, so you have to bear with me, but pretty easy. All this is sort of 15-minute job. Now, I've only got one hand here at the moment, so you can see basically all we're doing is just pulling that back in. Now, I might be able to just hold this and show you without it falling off, but if the camera suddenly drops, you'll know what's going on. Now, sometimes we put a block of wood in. Hiluxes are generally, the brakes on Hiluxes, there's not a lot of pressure sitting there, so you're not really having to pull back too hard. So as you can see, we're pulling that back in, and we'll pull that back in there as well. And generally, sometimes we'll get a problem where one will pop out. So I may have to put a little bit of timber across there, pull them both in, because you can imagine sometimes one will just pressure the other one out as you're putting pressure back there. So if you do have that problem, just put a bit of timber in between there, just a little piece, and just have it pull it back in. We're going to find out if we get lucky or not. Probably won't, but we always try. I need to find out that we got to put a bit of timber in there. So anyway, easy fixed. Okay, so that's basically how to pull those in. Look, a bit of timber on there is not a bad idea. By the way, I forgot to mention, this is a Hilux sr5 2009 model, so probably important for people. They don't change a lot. Brakes from about 2006 onwards didn't change much with Hiluxes. From memory. So okay, and just to prove that don't trust what people tell you on YouTube videos, that one time every now and again where one will just go in then the other one follows. No. Anyway, this is probably the better way to do it. Little block of wood covering half of each of the little cylinders here that come out. Just do them up, and basically then do the same to the other side, and you should find that they should pull in quite okay. We will now go do the other one. See if these ones pull out now. Should be okay. Okay, so that gives you 4 of these little pistons all sort of kicked in nicely, which means when we go to put our bigger pads in, they all fit. All right, we'll get this back together. Pretty much your pad has a plate behind it. Oops, let's just get that plate there, sorry. We help to see it. Okay, so these plates go on like so. I'll get them right. Let's have a look here, and the pins go through. So you'll put those plates on the back like so. All right, I've just got one hand here, so we'll get those put into there, and then we'll just show you how to clip it all back together. Okay, so there's where it all goes back together, but just giving you a bit of a look. On the side here, this clip, first put the little center bit in, then bend these bits down, put them through the holes of these pins coming through, and they won't go anywhere. Then make sure you get this bracket around the right way. It'll be a bit confusing if it's upside down, it just won't work, but it clips under the bottom here, and then it clips over the top. All right, so getting that over the top, sorry, that's the bit you want to see right there. So under the bottom, over the top, all back together. Pretty much from here, cut your straps and put 2 17mm bolts back in, and we'll show you from there. Okay, so that just goes on pretty easily, and pretty much from there, if I can just get this camera around here, we use these impact guns. Very, very handy. And oops, sorry, that'd be better if I put the camera on it. So basically, just do them up with your impact gun, if you've got one. Always check them after. Make sure that they are on very, very tight. This is what holds the brakes on. So always check them with a normal socket wrench, and just actually I don't check them with that, I check them with a bar, to be honest, a longer bar, so we just crack them a little bit tighter. But that's pretty much how it all goes together, and as you can see, plenty of pad in there for a long time now, and that's your Toyota Hilux 3-litre D4D SR5. all right, that should get you cracking, and certainly look, if I can do them, I'm a electronics chappy by trade, so you know, if I can do them, anyone can do them. It's really not that hard. And obviously, you know, check that there's no problems with your disc as well. I've replaced these probably a tad early. They've probably got about 15% left on them, but you know, when you get down to 2-3%, they become quite uneven, and you'll start getting these scratches in there, and you'll have to machine the disc, so you don't want to do that. Okay, well, I'm sure you don't want to be bored with doing the other side, but about 15 minutes you can do a set of these, and it's not really that hard. Okay, all the best, and hope you've enjoyed having a look at how a Toyota SR5 stops. All the best. Cheers.